Hello, lovelies. Welcome back to A Writer's Corner with me, Lisa Shimkis. I'm an author, ex-teacher, and mother of two. Today, I want to talk about a very hard truth about writing. And the reason it is a hard truth is that nobody tells you this. You actually have to discover it for yourself. It took me over 30 years to learn this, and you may be in the same boat. The boat you are sailing in is covered in flowers and rainbows and palettes of pinks and baby blue and all sorts of bright colors, or dark depending on your style. Anywho, you are on this journey from a story idea to a full-length novel. You're excited, your adrenaline is flowing, and you have set yourself down at your writing desk or bed, wherever it is you feel most at peace, and are ready to see your story come to life. Your thoughts are flowing with this grand idea. You know who all the characters are, you know what the inciting incident is, what the big climatic event will be, and you know how the story is going to end, and you play this in your head over and over and over. You even share this grand idea with your closest friends, other writers, social media, what have you. And if you're like many of us writers, especially the neurodivergent ones, many stories come to you, one story idea followed by another, and you jot them all down, and pretty soon you have a notebook full of story ideas. But do you see where I'm going here? All you've done so far is jot down story ideas, either in a notebook or in your head. You have no manuscript on paper, no full-length novel on your computer or written down in notebooks, and you especially don't have a book in the hands of readers. Which brings me to the point of this video. Writing is an act, not a thought nor an idea. A story idea is not a book. It can be turned into a book, but until you get to that process, to that point, it's still just a thought. Again, writing is an act. What is an act? According to Oxford Languages and Google, an act means to take action, do something. If all you're doing is thinking about your story or dreaming about it, you're not acting. You're not producing any writing. The reason I say this is a hard truth and nobody tells you this is that you actually have to learn this for yourself. You have to discover it for yourself as a writer. Authors can tell you left and right to read and write, but until you get to that point of reading and writing, you're not a writer. You're just a dreamer. This one act of writing is also something no one else can force you to do. They can't point a gun at you or give you an incentive such as money or candy and force you to write. Only you can force yourself to write. I admit it actually took me over 30 years to fully complete a manuscript, and that's because of this hard truth. The reason it took me so long to discover this truth is that I was doing the easiest part in all of this, which is dreaming up or coming up with story ideas in comparison to finding time to write. Granted, finding time to write is still hard because I work a 9 to 5 and I'm a mom of 2 toddlers. When I finally made the decision to start writing again, I had to create a schedule, and that schedule was writing early in the morning before I started work, during my work breaks, and after my kids went to bed. Now that I'm living on my own again and co-parenting my kids with their dad, I actually have to find a new schedule. But back to you. If you're struggling to get motivated to write, I highly suggest you go and watch my other videos. I'll link some down below for you guys to watch. And while you watch them, take notes and just start writing. I don't care if you have to write, I don't know what to write about, 1,000,000,000 times. At least you're writing. And now that I think about it, I might have to do the same thing. Maybe I'll create a video on rediscovering a writing mindset and writing habit post-divorce. We'll see. Well, good luck. I hope this information was helpful. And remember, only you can get yourself to write. Have fun. Bye. Do you have a book in mind that you are dying to write, but you have no clue how to start it, let alone finish it? Chances are you are struggling with this one thing. This one reason is why you struggle to finish writing your book. If you want to know what that is, then keep watching. Hello friends, I want to start off by saying I am so sorry for the sound quality of this video. I did not realize that my adapter for my microphone was not working, so please bear with me. Hello lovelies, welcome to A Writer's Corner with me, Lisa Shimkus. I'm an author, ex-teacher, and mother of 2 little ones. In today's corner, we are discussing why you are struggling to write your book. What seems like procrastination pretty much. Is the answer to this question procrastination? No. So keep watching. There are many self-help books out there teaching you how to start and finish your book, whether you have a novel in mind, a nonfiction piece, or a movie script. However, from my own personal experiences, they don't help. And it's not because of the writing or the information, but rather my brain's functionality. You see, it took me a long time to learn that I have ADHD. ADHD stands for Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder. This also falls under the neurodiversity umbrella, which to me is because this means that more and more research is being done to understand those of us whose brains don't function like the norm. However, I'm not here to teach you about neurodiversity nor how to cope with ADHD, but I do have some videos on that which you can view after this one. Instead, let's talk about procrastination, or what looks like procrastination, and what the actual problem is to you struggling to write your book. First off, what is it not? Now, I've spent years doing a lot of reading and writing, including taking writing classes and writing my own stories. But I never finished a decent piece of writing that I wanted to publish and, well, let other readers read until recently. And if I did start something that sounded great, I would lose momentum and put it away for years. I've noticed, however, that I don't procrastinate on work and chores, yet I would procrastinate on starting and finish my own writings. Why is that? How is that? Why did I procrastinate on a dream that I've been wanting to accomplish since I was a kid? I've been able to accomplish other things, such as start a teaching career, create a blog, throw myself on social media, get married, and have kids. And yet I struggled to write and finish a book and then publish it. And you may be struggling with the same question and realization. We can look at the many things that could lead to procrastination, such as the fear of failure, wanting everything to be perfect, getting overwhelmed or anxious, not being able to prioritize. All of this sounds like they stem from childhood traumas. Anyway, I've learned along the way on my writing journey that there is one thing that I kept doing that was hindering me from writing and finishing a book. And this may be your problem too. By the way, if you look at my background, you'll see there's this little end table over here that's like bluish. I wanted it to look like the TARDIS. A coworker of mine actually picked it up and painted it for me, and I have to do a bit more work to it, but it's pretty cool. If you like that, don't forget to like this video as well and share it with other writers. Let's get back to the video. This one reason you struggle to write is comparison. That's right, I've got insecurities, you've got insecurities, we all have insecurities. One of the biggest things I did was compare myself to other writers. I would see authors publishing left and right. I would see writers here on YouTube with their writing blogs, and I would compare myself to them and, well, feel not so great. At this time, I didn't have published material. I wasn't blogging. I wasn't vlogging about my writing journey. I had my writings in boxes and USBs, and none of it was completed. So I didn't want to tell anyone or show anyone. I was too ashamed to admit that I couldn't start and finish a book, and I didn't know why until recently. Because I was comparing myself to these other writers and who seemed way more accomplished than myself, I would put myself down for thinking I wasn't so great. Or so I thought. Not to mention, I'm a small YouTube channel, so that doesn't make me feel high and mighty. I realized that by comparing myself to other writers, I would be down and depressed, and I would struggle to write for several days. And you may be doing the same thing without even realizing it. You're on social media, browsing bookstores or libraries, and comparing yourself to these other writers. So what can you do about this? Because something needs to change so that you can start and finish your book and publish it. Here's my advice. So here's what I did. I stopped staring at a screen and started reading and writing. I read books in all sorts of genres, from historical romance to sci-fi fantasy. This was to start filling my head with words, story ideas, world building, plot structure, you name it. My self-talk also became more positive. If I saw an author's next book come through I work in a library by the way, I'd go, great for them, I'm working on a book too. And if a fellow YouTuber put up their latest writing vlog, I wouldn't click on it. I'd root for them, but I wouldn't watch their content, knowing that seeing their success can be triggering for me. And again, that would start the comparison. So what does this mean for you? If you are struggling to start and finish your book, chances are you are comparing yourself to other writers. If this is you, I have a challenge for you. Take a screen break. Get off of social media, pull out that manuscript that you started some time ago, and continue working on it. Not having social media will keep you away from any negativity, especially any negative self-talk, and it won't burn the time you could be creating something. Also read books that interest you. Read in the genre you're writing, as well as other genres that just sound cool. This will inspire you to keep writing. I know it all sounds too easy, but believe me, if it was this simple, I would have been a young author with a backlog of published material, and so would you. So after this video, I challenge you to turn off this video, turn off anything else that you're watching or staring at, pull out your old manuscript, and get started with writing. And if you're looking for something to read, here's what I'm reading. Jacoby by William Ritter. It's got this Sherlock Holmes, Doctor Who vibe to it, and to be honest, it's a little creepy, but some people like creepy. For me, I like the characters and the intrigue, as well as trying to figure out this murder mystery that is not human. So if this sounds like you, go pick up this book from your local library and get started with reading, and then start writing. If you're still here, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it was helpful. Comment below with what may be hindering you from starting and finishing your book. Also subscribe to this channel for more in the future, and I will see you there. Until then, take care and have fun reading and writing. Bye.